All right, we're here to give an update on a major narcotics investigation. In fact, the investigation culminated on June the 15th, but it started a couple of years ago. One of our narcotic investigators, Mitchell, he started this thing, and it culminated on the 15th with 5 search warrants. 3 search warrants were conducted in a 3800 block of West Jordan Street. That's over here where we did 3 search warrants, right around this area, right there. That's the Bell's Head area, apparently. We did 2 other search warrants. One was in the 2400 block of West Belmont, and one was in the 8000 block of Cayenne. And again, as you can see, one's over here, and one is way down here. So this investigation stretched a pretty good amount of central Escambia County. But months of investigation and hard work by a narcotics unit in cooperation with the Postal Inspector's Office, the DEA, FBI, United States Army National Guard, and I think the Pensacola Police Department helped us with a search warrant as well. But inside the homes we found, and I'll go over it, but you can see some pictures there. We found 3.5 pounds of meth. As you can see right here, this is what this is. This is the meth inside of a cabinet. Meth again right here. And they also found a pound of marijuana, 32 grams of fentanyl, 8.1 grams of cocaine, 8.5 grams of marijuana edibles, 13 grams of MDMA, 4.2 grams of heroin, found oxycodone, numerous pints of lean, and $17,900 in cash. So you've got the cash up here. You got, this is the lean here. Obviously money counters, weapons, edibles, marijuana. No Small Plays is their group name. That's what the NSP stands for. Obviously, like I said, this was the methamphetamine that we seized. These are large amounts of drugs and quite a variety of the different drugs. But you can't have a real drug dealer without guns. And so we seized, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think 11 total guns. And some are handguns, some are shotguns. As you can imagine, when you combine that much money, that much drugs, and that many guns, you're looking for trouble. But you can't have them, guns or drugs, if you can't transport them. So we also seized, in addition to the jewelry, let me go over to jewelry first. This is some of the jewelry. We got approximately $100,000 worth of jewelry during these 5 search warrants. And some of them, you can see a smaller picture here. But again, NSP, you got the bell. The bell is for the Bell's Head area that I spoke to earlier, where they're from. These are, as I understand it, very expensive watches. A little gaudy for my taste, but they're very expensive watches. One of these days we may be auctioning these off. So if you don't have great eyesight and want a good watch, you might get one of those watches there. We also seize vehicles, like we always do. On drug dealers, we have, what we have here, 19 Camry, a 21 Nissan, a 2021 Mitsubishi, 2019 Honda, 2021 Maserati, and we seized all these vehicles are here in our lot now, and we intend to file for seizure on those and the $100,000 plus dollars in jewelry. And that brings us to who we're looking for. So we have active warrants for these 7 people. All right, we're looking for Andrea Howard. We're a multitude of charges. There's a $100,000 bond, $50,000 bond, $10,000, $10,000, $15,000, $15,000, $15,000 bond. Combine all of those, and he's going to need a lot of money to get out of jail when we finally catch him. Anthony Lee Moore is also wanted. Looks like for marijuana charges, $10,000 bond. Larry Dante Hartley is wanted for a number of charges again. Bonds, $5,000, $100,000, $25,000, $10,000, $10,000, $15,000, $2,500 again. He's going to need some money to get out. Kiwantes Antonio Matthews, $15,000 bond and $2,000 bond. Down on the bottom here, we have Kelly Danielle Langley. She's wanted, looks like, for trafficking in fentanyl. And we all know how dangerous fentanyl is. Methamphetamines, marijuana, drug equipment, several $1,000 bond total up. Marcus Lavelle Faggard, and he is wanted for a number of things: methamphetamine, displaying a firearm during a felony, trafficking, again, in fentanyl, drug equipment, possession of weapons. His bonds are $20, $25, almost $30,000. Then QB Ray Ball is wanted for display of firearms during a felony, marijuana possession with intent to sell or manufacture, $10,000 bond. These 7 people are all wanted as of right now. We have warrants for all 7 of them. They're all part of this entire drug operation. Again, it took months. I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due, and that's to our Escambia County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit. They've been working hard, off and on for about a couple of years, but once they're on your trail, they're gonna get you. And this is what happens when you have a major operation and we finally catch up and we can do 5 separate search warrants, seize a lot of jewelry, seize a lot of money, seize a lot of drugs, seize a lot of cars, and we're about to seize a lot of bad guys. So that's where we're at.
Sheriff, I'm not really sure where to begin. I mean, how big of a dent does this put in their industry?
I think if you look at the map that we had up earlier, it kind of gives you an idea of the number of drugs and the dangers, really, because we had firearms associated, we had cars, we had all this stuff. I think it puts a dent. I mean, I'm not naive enough to think that it's going to be a forever dent, but rest assured, our narcotics unit and the men and women of the Sheriff's Office aren't going to stop here. We're going to continue to try to push for this, to make sure that we get the people that are responsible for it. Drugs are what's destroying our community. Drugs and guns specifically. Almost every homicide that we have, we can draw a correlation to drugs, and now you can see that. I mean, this investigation kind of encapsulates that. We've got, again, the guns and with the drugs and the cars and the jewelry and the money.
No arrests have been made yet?
Not yet. We just got the warrant signed, I guess, just within the last day or so. So, if you are on this board, please turn yourself in. If you're not on the board, then let us know where the people on the board are. We are looking for you. We're not going to stop till we find you. Our assumption is that they're going to know it by now. They know that we did the search warrant at their house, and we don't want them to think that we forgot about them.
You have any information on no small plays? I mean, how big of an operation is that?
Well, I guess you can see it's big enough to have a lot of guns and a lot of cars and some awful gaudy jewelry. All right. Again, we just want to make sure that people understand that we're working at this day in, day out, and we're able to do some search warrants and to get these drugs off the streets, get these guns off the streets, and then we want people to know who we're looking for. So give us a call, let us know where they are. You can call Crime Stoppers, or you can call one of our investigators. We'll be glad to find them.
Any idea how much time they're looking at?
I don't know. I couldn't even begin to think. That's up to the judicial system. They're going to look for, there's a lot of charges, and hopefully they're looking at a lot of time.
When did this operation begin?
It began really 2 years ago, but in earnest it started probably a couple months ago, where it started to ramp up and we started getting enough information on it. I don't think people understand how hard these things, these investigations are, and how long it takes. Sometimes they can be tedious. Sometimes it can be, hours upon hours. It can be surveillance. It can be following them. It can just be, basic hard work.
Can you talk at all about what led up? I mean, in the moments or hours leading up to these warrants being served. I mean, how did you finally close in?
Well, we continued to gather intelligence throughout the time, so we knew who the players were. We knew what charges we were going to have. We knew which homes and which locations that we had search warrants prepared for. So as we get that done, and then we get a judge to sign the search warrant, then the planning starts. We have to figure out how we can hit them all at the same time, so that our officers are safe, our partner officers are safe, and that we do what we can to make sure that we catch, get the dope, and we get the money, and we get the evidence, and ultimately we end up getting the bad guys. This may be a crazy question. Do they know they're wanted? If they don't know they're wanted, I can't help them. They should certainly know, and if they don't know it, then that's why we're putting a picture out here. And if they got a better picture they want us to put up, we'll be glad to do that as well.